Hi everyone. Happy winter solstice. This is my favorite day of the entire year. This is an extra special day. This is it's just such a blissful day. So what better way to celebrate that other than making a rant on Facebook in my group with my awesome supporters. And of course my 4-year-old is coming up behind me in 2 seconds because I let her come to my office with me. So this topic today is going to be about 5 reasons why our family wizard sucks. And I know that this is going to be super unpopular. This is going to be a very unpopular opinion. Most of you are probably going to disagree with me. Sadie, no, not right now.
I need some more water.
Not right now. You're going to get juice when we get our food, okay, babe? We have a food delivery coming, so if a weird guy walks through the door, then I'm not getting murdered. So, why does our family wizard suck so bad? I'm going to try to keep my language clean for the sake of my young child's ears. Here's why.
Hello.
Please don't do that, sweetheart.
Hey.
Our family wizard gives you a false sense of security that you have a support system within the system. It makes you think that you have a support system inside the family court system, and the family is Catherine. I don't see it at all. I don't see how she looks like me at all, to be honest, but it's cool. So our family court is designed to antagonize you, drain you of your resources, drain you of your self-worth, make you feel as disempowered as possible so that you have to start buying your way out of problems. And our family wizard is just another way of extracting money out of you. And it's an unnecessary service, just like every other freaking family court service is. Like all the other services in family court, our family wizard is another useless service, and I'm going to share why. So it gives you a false sense of security because what are all these non-offending parents saying about our family wizard? What are you all saying about our family wizard? This is great. This is awesome. Now I get to document all of my ex's abuse, and then I get to show the judge how nasty my ex is, and the judge will read all these things going back and forth between me and my ex, and then the judge will see what a nasty person he is or she is, and then the judge will assign equal custody or give me the children or something of that nature, or sanction my ex for being a jerk, something like that. You're all thinking that our family wizard is your friend because it's tracking the abuse, and then you get to show that to the court, and the court will suddenly just take your side and see the light and finally realize who's the narcissist. Because clearly the family court couldn't figure that out first. It needs our family wizard to figure that out, right? So my argument is no, absolutely not. That is not what it does. I have never seen anyone ever in all these years, in 11 years, say, our family wizard helped me get my children back. Our family wizard got my ex sanctioned. Our family wizard helped the judge find my ex in contempt. I have never seen a parent approach me with that. If you have ever had a good experience, let me know. And parents really feel like they're getting some sort of benefit from having documented abuse. Like if all the abuse is in these clean, files that are easily accessible and easy to read and all that, then everything's going to be fine. So if all it took was a $99 a year service to fix the family court problems, wouldn't our family wizard just be the newest, latest and greatest gadget to fixing the fatherless epidemic and the motherless epidemic and all the teenage dropouts and the suicides? If all it took was a $99 service, why do we have so much dysfunction in the court system? So that's my first gripe about our family wizard. It gives you a false sense of security. It makes you think that you have some sort of support, or you're going to move your way into a supportive court hearing where people are going to start taking your side. The mediator is going to see your side. Look, guys, I had stacks of documents of our family wizard abuse, and the judge said, oh my God, look at how high conflict these parents are. This is really bad. And then the judge took my time away from me to minimize conflict. So I'll get to that in a minute. Let me just take a sip of my drink here. This is bok choy, jalapeno pepper, lots and lots of tomatoes, a lot of cilantro, some carrots. It's really amazing. I've been juice fasting this is my 9th day now. I haven't had any solid food since last Saturday night of last week, and I feel tremendous. So yeah, someone said they use talking parents. Look, that's fine. That's fine because you're not paying anything for it, but I'm still pretty much against these third-party apps for the purposes of working with your ex, but I'm going to get into all that in just a second. Okay, let me just take a sip. Okay, the other reason why I hate Our Family Wizard is that the little app on your smartphone provides a direct conduit for your ex to harass you. You're standing in line at the grocery store. I've said this story a million times. You're standing in line at the grocery store and you're trying to pick out what kind of pasta sauce you want because you're cooking dinner for your new boyfriend or your new girlfriend. You know, do I get the marinara sauce? Or do I get portobello mushroom? Do I get angel hair? Do I get, butterfly pasta or whatever that's called, bow tie? I don't know. And you're like, you're getting all excited. It's a Friday night. You've been working all week at 6 p.m. Your partner's going to show up at 7. And you're like, I got this. This is great. I'm going to have a great weekend, blah, blah, blah. And all of a sudden you get that beep, beep. And you're like, oh, what's going on? And it's your ex harassing you. Because exes like to harass you at 6 p.m. on a Friday when it's not your weekend, or even when it is your weekend. You're going to stand there in the line at the grocery store in the aisle fighting with your ex, and it's going to drain your energy. It's going to put you in a negative, toxic space, and you're going to just carry that into the rest of your day, because that's what our exes do to us. We're very sensitive for the most part. Most of us are very, 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 very sensitive to our exes. We have not yet learned how to deflect the negative energy. We have not yet learned how to set the right kind of boundary. The parents who are taking my course are figuring it out, but it's very, very, very hard to set boundaries with your abuser when the court system is encouraging you to work with the abuser, or the family court system wants you to work with the abuser. The family court does not want you to co-parent. The family court wants you to be abused. The court system wants you to just stick yourself out there in the field to be shot at by your ex. So because then you're going to go running to court, filing motions and trying to complain about your ex's behavior, and then that just generates billable hours and transactional revenue for the state. So the app provides a direct, conduit to you for your ex to abuse you. And because we are like the empathic, non-offending parents, and we want to like make peace and look like we're working with the ex, because we've all done this, right? If you ignore the message, you're not co-parenting. If you respond, it's like, I better respond right away or the court's going to think I don't co-parent. Like you guys you're developing so much codependency. I call it codependency parenting. You guys are self-sacrificing so that you can look good to the court. So let me respond to this. It's a Friday night. It's 6:30 p.m. I'm in the grocery store, but if I don't respond right away, I'm going to look like I don't care. And what's going to happen? You're going to respond, and then your ex is going to respond because these mofos don't know how to like leave you alone. And then it's just going to be back and forth. It's going to be very toxic. And then you're going to get the rest of your dinner. You're probably going to text fight in the parking lot. You're going to text fight while you're supposed to be cooking for your new partner. And this is just really bad energy, and it's not going to allow you to heal from the abuse. So the most amount of distance you could build with your ex, the better. I'll get to that in just a second. Okay, so that's number 2. Number 2, why Our Family Wizard sucks. Number 3, Our Family Wizard is... It kind of ties into number 1, how it gives you a false sense of security, but Our Family Wizard puts you in a destructive habit of documenting your ex's behavior. I feel like documenting your ex's behavior is, I don't want to swear, a really bad habit. And it's going to drain you. It's going to affect you. It's going to trigger your autoimmune disorder if you have one. It's going to trigger your mental condition if you have one, who doesn't have anxiety in the system. It's going to trigger all sorts of issues. Like you were married to this person. You know how bad they treat you. And it's going to pull you back into that marriage when you're documenting their behavior. Guys, the last thing I want to do is ever read anything my ex has ever written me. Okay, just when I see him writing to the teachers at school, that's about as much as I can tolerate from my ex, And it's because I don't engage in any sort of communication with him at all. So when parents use Our Family Wizard as a means to create beautiful documents, these gorgeous, perfectly outlined, stream of abuse over all these months. Oh, this abuse goes back to February of 2014. It's like, look at all this abuse, Judge. This is what happens. So again, even if you have the best storybook strategy ever, where you're just telling the story of abuse so that you could get your kids back, since when do your rights to your children hinge on somebody else's behavior? Like, that's not how fundamental rights work. We don't get rights because someone else is behaving badly. So if I want to vote, and that's a really bad example. If I want to own property and the government saying you can't own property, do I go around saying, well, you know, so-and-so treats their property really bad. They leave their garbage all over the lawn. They don't rake their leaves. They don't paint their shutters. They treat their property really, really bad. So look how bad they treat their property. Therefore, I want you to grant me the right to own property. So what we're doing is we're showing somebody else's bad behavior so that we'll get back our fundamental rights. But fundamental rights are never dependent on other people's behaviors. You know, when Black people didn't want to be segregated into different schools, they didn't go and say white people don't appreciate their schools, or white people take it, you know, they don't keep their schools clean, or they don't educate their children properly, or they don't hire the right teachers. They didn't complain about white people. They just said, look, we deserve equal protection under the law. We want to be treated like equals. So you need to elevate us to the same level as these white people, because the 14th Amendment demands that. So if you're going to court to show bad behavior, you're using the wrong strategy, because that's not an appealable claim. That's not a claim that you could ever appeal if the judge doesn't take your side. You can't go to the appeals court and say, look, this guy is acting like a jerk, or my ex-wife is acting like a jerk, and I showed the judge that, and the judge didn't take my side. So and you can't appeal that. The appellate court's gonna say, well, that's up to the judge. The judge gets to make those decisions. But if you go to the appeals court and say, look, I asked to have my rights restored to be equal to my ex because the 14th Amendment demands that. Why didn't I get my rights restored to equal status? You know, then you have something that you could appeal. And this is not legal advice. Do talk to an attorney, preferably a civil rights attorney. Do not talk to a family law attorney ever. If you're appealing, or just don't work with a family law attorney at all if you're going to get one. So let me just take another sip. I get really angry about Our Family Wizard, so. And this rant is so overdue. I've been wanting to do this live stream for like 2 years. So the storybook documentation strategy, I actually feel like Our Family Wizard gives parents like a false strategy to use, because the parents will be like, oh, well, I'll just use Our Family Wizard, and clearly everybody will see what a jerk my ex is, and then I'll get my children back. And what that does is it deflects your attention away from what you should be looking at, which is your fundamental rights. And instead it forces you to look at your ex's behavior and dissect your ex's behavior. I mean, it's just crazy. So what is my third point? Let's see here. My paper's upside down. So yeah, that's my third point. My fourth point is, oh yeah, here's another little extension of the third point. The other thing is, if your ex is smart, which most narcissists, they're pretty smart, unless it's my ex who's not. But most narcissists, unless they've been so emboldened by the system that they just don't care how they treat you anymore, most narcissists will pretend to be on their best behavior while they're emailing you on Our Family Wizard. They'll pretend to be polite and all that crap. So you're really not getting a full picture of your ex anyway. There's really no accurate documentation anyway, because your ex knows they're being watched, so they're going to artificially treat you okay. And then when you try to, no matter what you present the judge with, you could say, look, I'm being abused really bad. Look at all this proof. Or you could say, what if your ex isn't abusing you? How are you going to get your kids back? So, because if you show a lot of abuse from Our Family Wizard, the judge could look at that and say, oh gosh, look how tumultuous this relationship is. Look how catastrophic these parents are with each other. I'm not going to grant equal custody. This is really bad. But if your ex is treating you fine, if your ex is hiding the abuse and not showing their true colors, the judge could say, well, everything's fine here. You guys are getting along just fine. Why would I change anything? Why would I disrupt what's working? So either way, no matter what you present the judge with, the judge could still decide to keep your kids from you. What, sweetheart? Come here. What, Levy?
Is it good here? Because it smells something up here.
You smell something?
Yeah.
It's coming. It's close. No, that's my juice that you're smelling. She smells the jalapenos in my juice. So that's my third point. So the fourth point here is, where is my fourth point? I accidentally combined my third and fourth point. I don't know what I did. I don't know. I combined those 2 points by accident. So we're just going to pretend that we did a fourth point. The fifth point here is that Our Family Wizard is still a forced contract by the state. The state is still forcing you into a contract against your will. If you didn't ask the state, that's my food. Baby, can you wait?
Mommy, can I have some more water?
Sure, in a few minutes. Come sit with Mama. Okay. So the last point here is that Our Family Wizard is still a forced contract. Now, most parents will agree to it, you know, they'll just agree to it in mediation because they figure, well, who cares? It's only $99 a year. Oftentimes you're stuck paying for both subscriptions. So I have court orders that I have to pay for my ex and myself. I'm not engaging in those. I'm not doing it. You know, I'm technically in contempt. So a lot of parents are like, well, it's only $99 a year. Who cares? But look at all of the points I illustrated on how this is harmful to you and harmful to your health, your mental health. What's your mental health worth to you? So some parents will say, well, what can I do though? I mean, I have to be able to communicate with my ex. Okay, you have to wait. A lot of parents will say, well, I have to communicate with my ex. Like, I need to do that. Great. Communicate with your ex through email. Get yourself an email account. Like, you know, co-parenting, blah, blah, blah. You know, put your last name in there or whatever, at gmail.com. Give that access to a third party. Give them the password. Make them manage the entire account. Don't even have the password. And instead of paying $99 a year, pay $8 a month to that third party. A lot of people are willing to. I know, baby. They're gonna leave it outside the door, Lovey. So, guys, I left notes that they should leave it outside the door. Hang on. Get it, baby. Yep, get it. Pick it up.
Bye.
Okay, pick it up.
Thank you. Thank you.
Come
It's here. Yay.
on. Sorry, guys. They were supposed to leave it outside the door. Okay, so pay someone $8 a month to manage your emails. 99% of the stuff they look at is not going to be anything that you need to know about. Most of the stuff that parents communicate to each other is not important, okay? If it was important, the important stuff about your kids, you can get from their pediatrician, their teachers, their therapists. You can get important information about your kids anywhere. You do not need to use your ex as, like, you know, the information, you know, system on your kids. You could either get information directly from your kids. Other people could help you out with your kids. You don't need your ex. You don't need your abusive, nasty ex for any of that. So what I would do is I would get a Gmail account and I would pay someone $8 a month. You know, a lot of people are willing to do that. Their job is to check the email account once a day. Give me your juice. Thank you.
I'll go do it.
They check the email account once a day. And then your sanity is preserved. You're not getting dings while you're shopping. You're not getting interruptions. You're not. And then if your ex knows that someone else is monitoring the account, not that you're going to tell them, but they're less likely to abuse you because you're not going to read it. You can even tell your ex, like, look, I'm not going to be reading these emails. You know, someone else is going to be looking at these emails. So, you know, and then that person only sends you the important stuff. Now, what's considered important? Okay, blood, broken bones, emergency room visits, and, you know, antibiotics. What is so important that your ex will know that you don't already know about your kids? There's not, like, what are you guys even communicating about? Just nothing. There's nothing useful. These people have nothing to contribute at all, ever. So do I think parents should communicate? Yes, of course. If my son breaks his arm, I'm going to want to know about it. But I'm pretty sure you know, your information should be saved at all the local emergency rooms. But like a lot of parents, they'll subject themselves to so much abuse just in case your son or daughter breaks their arm. It's not like you're going to find that information out anyway if there's a legitimate emergency. So, I mean, my ex has never shared anything with me that was useful, ever. Not once. And he has my son 26 days a month. So, I mean, like, all my son's teachers have my email address. They copy me on every single message. And I have to come down a little bit on the dads. I find that dads, and this is just conditioning. This is systemic generational conditioning that teaches dads that they are worthless. Dads will often rely on the mother to get information from the schools. You know, she's not sharing report cards with me. She's not doing this. She's not doing that. And I'm like, why don't you call the school and tell the school that you want to be on the records or on the contact list? So empower yourself and communicate directly with your child's providers. And there is a law called FERPA, I believe. I mean, look into it, but you as a parent, as a fit parent, have full rights to access your child's, you know, education records under FERPA. I'm 99% sure. in terms of emergency room information, you have the right to have all that information. You have the right to have your child's doctor's information. That's not my hand. And if you're prohibited from having that information, tell the judge that you want a hearing on the protective order that was issued. Because if the judge won't let you have records, if the judge won't let you have any doctor's names or numbers, ask the judge, say, oh, Your Honor, I noticed that I never got a hearing for this protective order because the judge has the court has a protective order on me. Because if the court is prohibiting me from accessing documentation, then somehow there was a protective order issued. And obviously there wasn't. It's like a de facto protective order. Now, this is not legal advice. This is just my perspective and my interpretation of the law. It's right here, babe. Oh, you just have a spoon. I'm sorry. You could do it with a spoon. So if you are blocked from accessing information about your child, ask the court for a hearing ask the court for a hearing that somebody would have if they were to have a protective order issued. They're going to skip over that and use best interest of the child to block you from having access to your child's information, which is wrong. So you have to ask the court for a hearing on a protective order. And that, contact me if you want more information on that. Here you go, sweetheart. Okay? So that's what I would do. I'm going to check to see if we have questions, okay? Oh my God, there's so many questions. Okay, cool. So someone said Patricia said Family Wizard was very valuable to me, just me, but I was the only one who used it. It showed one-way communication. So I had the same problem. I was forced to pay for 2 subscriptions. My ex never logged in. I mean, he just never logged in. So I was literally paying for nothing. And a lot of parents will find that valuable, but you can document whatever you want in like a Google Doc, like a Google Drive account. I mean, a Gmail account does the exact same thing. I mean, I know that our Family Wizard is very user-friendly. It's easy to use. It's very clear, and so a lot of parents will think that has like intrinsic value, but you can get the same exact result with, Google Drive, in my opinion. Yeah, I mean, these parents, they don't participate often, and you're stuck paying for it, and that's a government coerced contract. So, let's see. I get blamed for sending too many messages. I think I lost like an entire summer with my son one year because I was over communicating with my ex. So the judge said I was co-parenting too much and it was annoying my ex, and I should have figured out that he doesn't like that much communication. So I learned my lesson. I don't do any of that anymore. I leave my ex alone. He could have his own life. I have my own life. You could parallel parent, no problem. Parallel parenting is the healthiest thing you could do if you're being abused. Talking parents is a waste of time. I have wasted the better part of last few years communicating. Exactly. I mean, really, like, are you guys going to have this like transformational relationship now? Like, oh, we're such good communicators now. I agree with you, Monica. Court ordered our Family Wizard, but other parent complained, felt inundated. Went from saying no communication to too much. They all do this, I swear. Let's see here. The judge doesn't listen anyway. Yeah, you guys, use your rights. Don't use some other person's behavior to like get your kids back. Just be like, I have the freaking right to see my kids, period. Like, who cares? What if your ex was super nice to you? Does that mean that you shouldn't have rights? Like, what if your ex had sole custody, treated you amazingly? You would never be able to get your kids back if you're going by the behavior argument. If you're going by bad behavior to get your rights, what if your ex starts treating you really nicely? Then you're screwed. You're stuck. That strategy no longer works. So you have rights to your kids, whether you're being treated really great or really badly by your ex. The judge doesn't care about the past, only focuses on the present. The judge needs to start caring about the Constitution, period. Monica, you should invent a documentation app tool you think would be more effective. I think Google Drive is more than enough, and having someone else manage that account. Let's see here. You're inspiring me. I'm raring up for battle again, and there are some major issues that are being caused and propagated by extreme overreach by the court system, which is not even ordering orders which effectuate progress. Of course not. If they issue orders that effectuate progress, then they are going to lose a customer, a long-term customer, because parents, if you guys divorce when your children are like 3 and 5, the state automatically gets like a 15-year contract, like not contract, but like a 15-year solid buyer. You know, the life cycle of the customer. That's a business term. And so the life cycle of you as a customer is like 15 years because they're going to go by your kids' ages. They're less likely to screw with you if you get a divorce when your kids are 16. So because there's no retention value with you as the customer. You know, they're just going to screw you once and be done with you. Let's see here. Okay, hang on one second. Yeah. So Dave says you can have all the information, but no right by the judge to do anything about it. Yeah. So Tara says, can I replay this live? So I'm going to be emailing it to my list. So Tara, why don't you send me a private message with your email address, and I'll add you to my email list, and then you'll get access there. So there's a gift I'm going to share with you as a way to celebrate the solstice. I'm tickling my daughter. So, all right, I have a free workshop for all of you. Every single one of you, if you want a free workshop, you will, if you're not on my email list, if you don't get emails from me, send me a private message and say, I want the workshop. If you're already on my email list, you'll probably get the workshop in the next day or two. But it's a free workshop. It's like 75 minutes long. It comes with a gorgeous notebook that I designed myself. It's amazing. And it's called 3 Steps to Emotional Freedom for Parents in Family Court. So if you can master these 3 steps, all right, Sadie, if you can master these 3 steps, you can be on your way to really getting into that emotionally sound place where you can just manage the abuse with like it not sucking the life out of you and ruining your day and destroying your health. And so I want you to take advantage of it. It's totally free, comes with a workbook. You can't go wrong. I'm going to email it to everybody soon. But if you're not on my list, do private message me and get that. Yes, you're welcome. It's a solstice gift, but it's probably, you could call it a Christmas gift as well if you're into Christmas and all that stuff. So thank you so much for coming on, and we will meet up next Monday. Okay? Have a good night. Bye-bye.